recidivism rate effectively and thus sought resolve the status quo. The negative believes that this is not an executable plan and thus would like to ask for a negative decision at the end of today's debate. And I now stand for cross-examination.
Good afternoon. So you mentioned about the long-term system for criminal risk. So do you have the evidence that proves that it helps in Taiwan?
Second, affirmative cross-examine. Second, negative comment.
But we have proof that the system that
So you don't have the evidence that shows that it proves.
yes, we have it. We mentioned in the first negative speech that the rate of recidivism is falling in the current years.
But is it the recidivism rate? But it's not because of this, right?
But we are only adding adjustment to the current system. We did not change the
So
total.
what's the budget of the long-term system to the criminal?
We don't actually. We are just lifting the standards of the counselor and
Okay, thank
psychologist,
you.
so we will not add new things to it.
So do you agree that the current system is not good enough?
Yes.
Okay, so can you explain how is this different from the current system? Your
We want to unify the evaluation tool to make it more accurate, and we think that the sex offenders should be receiving counseling in jail.
So do you agree that do you believe our citizens common morality of citizens is enough?
Can you rephrase the
Do
question?
you agree that our citizens common morality of citizens is enough? It means that they know what is the right thing to do. They won't discriminate the criminals.
No.
No. So you don't believe our citizens.
That is, I didn't mean that way. I mean,
Okay. So do you agree that prevention is the best way for the citizens to protect themselves?
yes, but our system
Okay,
is also
thank you.
focused on
So,
prevention.
and do you agree that the government has the duty to prevent crime from happening by raising the citizens' awareness?
Yes.
Okay. And thank you.
5 minutes of presentation.
the affirmative has tried to draw our attention to the harm in the current system. First, the affirmative have mentioned that they will abolish the electronic monitoring system and make public sex offenders' personal information by using app and web. However, they didn't respond to our question. They said they will continue the current system by when the offender is minor, they will continue to use the current system. However, the percentage of minor committing sex crimes the percentage of it is 26% and is really high and is getting higher every year. The affirmative kept drawing our attention to they will use the budget of electronic monitoring, but they didn't mention how much will they spend on the plan and didn't give us a concrete plan. The affirmative also mentioned that they will raise the imprisonment of the offenders. However, they didn't estimate how much money we'll spend on it. And they kept using irrelevant evidence on how the victim feels or what damages are the offenders doing to the victim. But what we are debating is about that Taiwan government should make public sex offenders personal information, so that has nothing to do with the victim. And they said that they want to use GPS they said they want to replace electronic monitoring with GPS. But however, in the current system now, we already have the GPS system, and we can only use GPS for half of the day. That's why there are a lot of offenders offending at the other half of the day, and they didn't solve the problem. And furthermore, Taiwan has already been spending 100 million NTD on the original system every year, minus the 27 million NTD that they are saying. We already have a consulting and treatment plan, but however, they said nothing about it. And our plan is to raise the standards of the consultants and the therapists, and we will use newer and we will lift the standards of the psychologists and the counselors and unify the evaluation tools. We would like to challenge the solvency of the affirmative plan. Thank you.
Affirmative response is 3 minutes.
Good afternoon. The affirmative side strongly insists that the Taiwan government should make public sex offenders' personal information. First of all, I would like to make a few refutations. The negative side says that this will violate the rights of the sex offenders, but according to what my partner has said, the Constitution, Article 23, that all freedoms and rights enumerated in the preceding article shall not be restricted by the law, except by such may be necessary to prevent infringement upon the freedoms of other persons, to avert an imminent crisis, to maintain social order, or to advance public welfare. And in this case, sex offenders have already done something detrimental. Therefore, some of their rights cannot be guaranteed. And they